Hi, good afternoon, and very good afternoon. Hope you guys doing great, right? Yep, I hope so. I heard and I'm seeing a lot of videos about good weather, cloudy weather, probably a rainstorm in Karachi, specifically speaking. I hope you guys are safe and take care of yourself. That's what I'm praying for you all. So, what's today's topic? Well, today's topic is interesting and funny at the same time. I'm pretty sure the people who are going to see the caption of this video, they're really going to realize what I'm going to say next. And a lots of histories, a lot of incident happened in past. So video is about EXIF data. Yep, EXIF data. What is exactly the EXIF data is? Well, I can't remember right now the real pronunciation or abbreviation EXIF, EXIF. So what's it stand for? But I'm sure I'll link it down somewhere in the description. You can see somewhere over here, over here, what EXIF stands for. EXIF data is basically the raw. It's just information that associated with the raw file in the word in the text form, which contains the date, the time the image was taken, the ISO, shutter speed, focal length, aperture, blah blah blah. All this information embedded into the raw file, which you can see once you edit the photo in Lightroom or Photoshop. You can see that information somewhere at the corner or top right, top left, whatever. And in this way, you can see the information. And wait, oh, okay. Somebody liked my tweet, like on UK. Yeah, they just like my tweet. That's why. Anyways, so they basically you can check that information and that's it. So what's the fuss is all about? The fuss is there are many groups out there on Facebook who believes that if you are posting an image, you must write down the EXIF data. And I'm completely against that ideology. They think that if you write the EXIF data, it will help people to understand what kind of scenario image was taken, and they will just copy paste those values, the aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and they're going to take the images like you, which is exactly wrong. Now, why it's wrong? Let me explain. You are shooting under different kind of lighting scenario, and I'm shooting at different kind of lighting scenario. All right, I shoot something, or let's say you take a very good shot. All right, you take a very good shot, you upload it on Facebook, you write the EXIF data, and I was like, wow, that's a really good image, and I should copy that EXIF data exactly into my image, and I dial it down into my camera. I took a shot, but it turned out to be my image was underexposed or overexposed, whatever. It's not exactly the way it should be, which I have seen or I saw on Facebook. You showed me. Why is that? Why I'm not able to get the right exposure? It's the sunset time. I should have gotten. Should be. People normally ask for long exposures. They're just trying to figure it out how many seconds the shutter was open. They're just trying to gauge that value. But they don't want to learn, they just want to have that shortcut. And that value which I have taken could be 20 seconds, and maybe you can take the same exposure in 10 seconds. I have put a graduated ND filter which took me 60 seconds or maybe 5 minutes for an exposure, which you cannot take. If you open the exposure for 5 minutes, you will have just wide screen. Again, it's not the right approach. Instead of writing down the EXIF, you have to teach people how the camera behaves, how the camera works, how the ISO works, how the aperture works, how the shutter speed works. You have to teach people those things, not the shortcut. By giving the shortcut, basically you are trying to give them crutches or wheelchair. So they just take that wheelchair and they just go out and think that they're gonna win the race? Of course not. This is the that's why I believe that sharing the EXIF information is a wrong practice. You have to let people understand how the camera works because it will help them on a long run. Once people will learn that by changing the shutter speed, I can take the static C waves and by lower down shutter speed, I can make them wavy or dreamy like effect. Let them learn through the hard way. Hard way is the best way because the lesson that you will learn from the hard way will last forever. Unlike if you go for cheat codes by copy pasting the EXIF data, that's not the right thing. Cheating is always bad. Yeah, you may succeed for one or twice, but on the long run you will struggle for sure. How and you will be wobbling if you somehow you came across a very good scene, but if you don't know how the shutter speed or ISO or aperture working together, then you're gonna miss the shot because you don't know what shutter speed you have to take or you have to choose. You don't know what ISO that you have to put. And your exposure keep going overexposed or underexposed. You're never going to take the right exposure. Why? Because you are not used to of adjusting from the scratch. See? Even in event photography, I'm sure many people are going to piss off by what I'm going to say next, but that's the reality. You just people are doing event photography, especially wedding, by just learning from the people. What shutter speed and aperture you have? Okay, I know I have to shoot at 2.8 or 1.4, but what ISO and shutter speed? Okay, this they dial it down. And what's the flash value? Okay, 1/8. Okay, that's it. They just dial those values. That's it. They just tag, 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 tag. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. No creativity, no learning, nothing, nada, zero, bum. So if you're gonna keep doing this, then keep doing this, but don't expect that you will grow. You will never grow. I can assure you. The more you are going to copy paste the EXIF information by seeing other people images, the more your work is going to stuck at one place. You will never grow. 100% sure. Done that. I've been through this. I experienced that and I learned that. Of course, through the hard way. So this idea that in the groups, I have a huge fight with many group admins, and they will keep saying, "No, we must have to. The writing EXIF data is mandatory." And sometimes I feel like they are really dumb. They are really not getting my idea, my concept that let people suffer. Because if they keep getting the food by not pushing themselves, they will get used of easy life, and once the life puts a hammer on them, they will break, they will fall on the floor straight up. And this is the reality of life. Same goes in photography. If you keep copy pasting the EXIF, you will never going to learn. Even people, those, I don't want to say bad things about those admins, but those admins are really so much short-sighted or so much narrow-minded, and they were not accepting that even for a mobile shot, it's mandatory. You have to put EXIF data. You have to put EXIF data because it's a rule. What kind of idiotic rule is this? Even for a mobile shot, I have to write down the EXIF data, else you are going to delete my post because I didn't write the EXIF data. And on top of that, they were giving the tips. Okay, you will find this way the EXIF data from the mobile. I was like, seriously? Mobile? Mobile shot can be taken even with the slightest change in angle. Your shutter speed going change a whole lot even in mobile. So what's the point of writing an EXIF data from a mobile shot? But admin is admin, rules are rules. This is the ideology. This is the most idiotic ideology in our country photography groups. They're never going to accept what is right. They just go blindly what has been written in their rule books. Whoever wrote that, they just blindly follow them rather than use their two brain cells, more than two brain cells. They never use that. They just follow those rules, whoever make them, regardless. So the whole idea of this video is please learn how your camera works. Practice, practice, practice. I do so much practice. Uh, you know what? I'm going to shoot today. I'm going out after completing this recording this video. I will go out and shoot with Nikon D200, which is a crop sensor camera, and which is like 16-year-old crop sensor camera, and I am going to shoot with 16-year-old DSLR. It is just into my mind because I have to push myself and trying to get better images using a 16-year-old technology. For me, camera doesn't matter anymore. My images should be convincing enough. So I can only able to do that if I know how the camera behaves, what is the limitation of my camera and how I'm going to overcome those limitations. That's you can only learn once you know how the camera works. D200 I have maximum ISO 1600, so it means that I cannot go more than 1600 ISO. What if I need to shoot something at 6000 or 5000 ISO? I can't. So it means that I have to decrease my shutter speed. If I'm not going to decrease my shutter speed, so it means that I have to use a lens which should be 1.4 or 1.2 to get the right exposure. Again, I have gone through this tough practice, so that's how I know, and that's how I am able to do any kind of photography using any kind of gear. This is how you do. Keep practice, practice, practice. Put yourself in a harm's way and try to get through the difficult scenario you are into. That's how I did. That's how I do always. That's how I push myself trying to get an action image using a manual focus camera. That's my, you can call me crazy, but this is how I am. So I know I do bird photography using manual focus lens. I did. Can you believe that? Manual focus lens, 400 3.5. I did use, which is a manual focus lens. I did bird photography. I just pushed myself for it, and I did it. And I'm happy. I can say that it can be done. Of course, out of 10 shots, I get 2 perfect, but I know how to get those 2 perfect. Imagine you are having the latest gear, best camera, R5, Canon R5 or Sony A1 or Nikon Z9. Okay, they are very expensive camera, all $4,000, $5,000 cameras. And their eye autofocus is not working for any reason. How you are going to do the shoot then? Are you going to cancel? Probably you will, because you are so much relying on your machine that you don't know how to do manual focus lens, manual focusing the subject. So whose fault is this? Camera company who are making bad cameras which their autofocus system crappy, or it's you? You have to use your own mind and see where you are standing. Make yourself to do shooting in difficult kind of scenario. I was actually trying to do something else, but trying to say something else, but I just improvised. Put yourself in a harm's way and try to learn from those harm's way. That's how you will be able to do and able to learn a whole lot than just typical photography. Trust me, it will open up your mind if you're going to use different kind of shutter speed, aperture, ISO, try to do different lenses and try to do something different with the camera which you normally don't do. It will literally going to open up your mind and you will start evolving. You will start progressing in a positive way. I have been through this, that's why I'm saying this. I'm going to wrap up this video now. I hope you like it. And I'll see you guys in some other video some of the next time. Till then, take care. Bye.